this, I did that. Then we go from you, and then you to you, and then go to you, and then let that tailor into a conversation. What do you think?
I like the idea of, I like that idea, but then I'd also like to be able to like ask questions or like have everyone ask like one weird question.
One weird question.
All right.
One question. That's what we'll do.
One weird question.
Yeah, like I can start by asking Bone, what is the one thing he fears the most?
One thing I fear the most.
Are we
We
recording
are
right
not
now?
recording now. We're recording
We
now.
are recording right now.
Oh, perfect.
Perfect.
Wow.
Into it. You know?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to new friends and new classes.
What's the one thing you fear? It's not something you just.
What do you fear?
I fear of being too known and being unknown.
Too known and being unknown.
Yes.
What do you mean by
Like
that?
in a public eye, like a
What
celebrity?
do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, it is like, you know, the idea of that. Let's say as a foreigner, right? You
Okay.
come here and then. Either way, there's two ways to become famous.
Uh-huh.
You become a clown,
Yeah.
or you don't become famous at all. You just become normal human.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
You just
which comes to a point that you have to kind of set it in between balance, right? Especially in art, you know, you need to express yourself in like a crazy way. You could either do that, or you could stay behind and do whatever everybody does.
Yeah, but how is that a fear for you? How?
So you want to be famous without actually everyone knowing who you are,
You want to be famous?
but you still don't want to be a nobody?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
I mean, it is that in the middle, right? Like either when you're too famous, you lose some part of it. You lose you lose.
Oh, okay.
You lose
Humanity.
something.
Well, no. It's just when you become. So when I did bodyguard work, I used to do a lot of celebrities, and a lot of people think that their lives change dramatically when they become rich and famous, but them themselves are still who they are. But it's the environment they live in and the stuff they do. Like
that force yourself in
yeah,
to
it
amalgamate
forces
that.
them to be different.
Okay,
Right,
Johnson,
right.
let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What is the one thing you would not want to wake up and hear?
The one thing I would not want to wake up and hear,
Wake up and
beside obviously family members passing away and all that
it's
stuff.
just one thing that will just you just like you don't want to hear. It could be family, it could be anything, it could be personal.
Well, the one thing automatically goes right to family, right? I don't want to hear that family's hurt or dead.
specifically.
Wife. I don't want to hear anything negative about my wife.
Okay.
In that respect to family. Knock on wood on that.
Anybody can come up with
What
another
is
question.
something you regret not doing in your life?
That's a good question.
take a sip.
Or at least yet. That you haven't done yet, you know?
I regret not having a baby before now.
Mm.
I think I should have had a child.
That's a good one.
No, that's totally
I
justifiable.
think about it and I say, why didn't you have a baby? Yeah,
That's a good
when
one.
you could.
Okay.
My parents had they had me at 17 and 18. They were young.
17, 8. That is.
Yeah.
I was
So,
young.
like, what's one thing that you did that you're, like, so happy that you did, and it was, like, a good thing that you did, but that you would never do it again?
Ooh.
And any
One
one
thing
thing.
that I did that I loved and I'm glad I did but would not do it again. Now the question is, would not go back and do it again, or I would not repeat it later in life?
Like, either. Like, you're happy, like, it
Because
happened, and
so
you're
everything
sad.
I've ever done who has formed who I am today, I am so glad I did all of it. Now, if I was to repeat it, that's a different question.
One. You haven't mentioned it.
Like, for example, going to Iraq. I love the military. I love doing all that. I did my time. I ain't going back.
Okay. What if we put the question to you?
Oh, for me, it was like jumping off this like 60-foot cliff. Like me and my friends, like we went, and then like we saw this cliff, and we had seen YouTube videos about it, and we came up to like the 30-footer. We're like, the water's disgusting and it's too small, so no. So then we go to the 60-footer, and we jump off, and then like my feet smack, and like I get out of the water, and I had a blood blister like that big right on
Ooh,
my
you're supposed
foot.
to wear your shoes over 30 feet.
Yeah, I know. So like, and I found out that there was like mining equipment like stuff
Right down
under
there.
there, and it was just a mining.
you got
quarry.
lucky.
So we got lucky. Like
Holy
I've heard
shit.
like kids like have died there, but I didn't know that until after I did it. So like I did it, and I'm happy I did it. Never again.
I have another question for you.
Yeah. Okay.
What is the one thing that you have done that you know was wrong, that you know that if people knew you did it, they may look at you differently?
How are you going to answer that question on video?
You've done it.
You can't answer that on question on video.
That's absolutely
Well, it's a great
Yeah,
question,
that's a
but the
great
problem
question.
is you can't answer
But
that.
everybody should
See,
answer that
only
question.
she doesn't have a boost. That's the thing.
No, I would say,
Anything that you-
yeah. I met like the love of my life, and you know, like I didn't do enough, and like in ways I betrayed that love. So I would say that.
Okay.
Cheers to that. What
No.
What's your favorite joke
was my favorite joke?
to use as a pickup line at a bar?
I mean, it's not.
Oh, that's a whole different story. That's a whole different level of jokingness.
Okay, my favorite joke is to tell this. Well, I mean, I grew up in the Catholic family, so I always tell. I mean, the first thing I tell this to my mom. She actually was quite shocked. So it will be about Jesus. Hopefully, you guys
Yes.
will not be
Yeah.
offended.
Oh, I
so
love
I'm a
Jesus.
Catholic.
It's all good.
there's always a question like, why Jesus is
8.9
always
pound
single?
Baby Jesus.
Why Jesus is always single?
Oh, you asked that question?
And then
Why is Jesus single?
right? And so I came up with this idea about Jesus. Basically, you know, he's a healer, right? You know, he can heal any stuff. And one day, you know, what's the mother
Mary.
right? Mother Mary is like, oh, he can't be single all the time, so I gotta bring up some people to him. So she bring out a prostitute, right? One night, you know, one
Mary
cold night,
Magdalene.
right?
My
And then she
goodness.
just come in, she takes off the clothes. And there was Jesus like, okay, what's your life problem? And she saw like a little wound right down there. And then he just hands up his hands.
Oh my God.
There, the wound is gone forever. And then she runs away without the wound. So
What are you really saying?
So,
I don't understand this
there
story.
goes
I
Jesus'
don't know
story with
whether-
the prostitute without vagina. So.
Yeah. He healed the vagina.
I just.
I've never heard
I know I'm gonna go to hell.
You're
That's-
going to go to hell.
Oh,
You're
God.
going to go to hell. This is blasphemy.
That's what my mom told me. It's like,
Holy
we're
grail.
going to hell.
You're going to hell.
That's quite hilarious.
That's a funny one.
That's
Oh my God, I can't believe it. Of all the things you could think about why Jesus is single. Okay, interesting.
What is a life goal you haven't accomplished yet?
Oh, get to outer space. If I don't spend at least like a day in outer space, then my life is a failure.
You.
would think.
Same question.
What's the question?
What is one thing you haven't done with your life yet that you have to do? That's what I said, right?
Yeah, that's
Something
what
like
you
that.
said.
Yeah. Your next one,
I
very
hate
nice.
to say that I want to make money, but let me say that I want to work hard and make money.
Make some
And
money.
then when I've made that money, begin to make changes in my immediate society and in my country.
Totally.
Because there's so many things that are wrong that can be addressed if someone just says, I have made a success of my life without stealing government funds, without being corrupt. And then, like, people are like, how did you do it? Okay, I made it because I came, I studied, I worked hard. I'm
To
making
teach
films.
other people to
yeah,
also
to-
make
yeah,
that money.
yeah,
So it's
to-
not so much as making money, but becoming so influential enough
yeah,
with
so
money.
influential, yeah, to have enough money to be able to turn people's minds to the fact that it's possible that you can do this without stealing. Like in my country, we have corruption is a big problem. You can do this without stealing government funds, and then it will also get people to start looking at other things they could do to make money instead of thinking of how to get into politics, because
Where the money is.
that's the easiest cut to making money.
Very cool.
That's very deep thought.
What about you?
Can you repeat the question again?
What is something you haven't done yet that what did I say?
That you want to do.
That you have to do before the end of
That
your
what
life.
I want to do. Well, I'm pretty simple-minded. I want to do skydiving.
Yes. We can
I
do
wanna
that on
do
Tuesdays in
skydiving.
San Jose, bro.
So the question
Also,
comes
you
back
can
to
talk
you.
One thing that I want to do that I haven't done is to successfully start and launch a business to the point where it puts me into a position where I can either start or retire, or start more businesses or retire off of more businesses.
Making money while you sleep.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, making money while you sleep.
But it's not so much as I want to be successful, but it's I want to own something and have it be successful, and then create a life for other people that is worth having. And then just to repeat that and expand and then expand and expand and help others move in that direction.
Awesome.
That's the one thing I haven't done yet. Other than that, I've already reached most of my life goals.
Well, congratulations. That's
Is there
awesome.
anything that has happened to you that really frightened you? Out of
My,
your wits?
my first time tripping on hallucinogenic mushrooms, I was robbed.
Well, that's got to
What
be a
was that?
hard night.
What did you
That
just
had to have
say?
been a hard night.
Like shrooms, hallucinogenic mushrooms, you know, like trip out and stuff. Like my first time ever like tripping or whatever, I got robbed.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Where were you?
I was like in my
That's
hometown.
traumatic.
I was in my
Where'd you grow up? Where did you grow up?
Haverhill, Massachusetts.
Haverhill, Massachusetts. That's right. And where did you grow up?
In Nigeria,
Nigeria. What part of Nigeria?
southern Nigeria,
Southern
area
Nigeria?
they call Niger Delta.
Oh, there you go.
Mm,
I have no clue where that is, but I can Google.
sounds nice.
What about you?
Miri, Sarawak.
Where?
Sarawak. It's the island of headhunters. How about
The
that?
island of headhunters.
Yeah.
Like real headhunters? Like they
No,
cut
no,
people's
no,
heads
no,
off?
really.
Oh, cool.
I want to go to that island and
So what
get
island
on
is this?
myself.
It's in the border island, so it's by
Okay.
the coastal between Kalimantan and Sarawak. Do you know Brunei?
No.
The king in Southeast Asia that has more cars than anybody else.
Oh, that's
So-
awesome.
No.
So it's rumored that he has 99 wives because
Wow.
he's the king.
Of course.
He's
How
You
old
can
is
have
he?
99 wives when you're the
Right
king.
now he's pretty old. He's like 80 something.
Okay,
Sultan
with
Bolkiah.
99 wives. I can imagine how many kids he
Yeah, how
has.
many babies does he have?
No, he doesn't have too much. You know, in the hierarchy, they don't allow too much babies.
Yeah, because then there's more royalty
oh,
that has to pay for it.
really? Is that how they do
Well,
it?
I mean, they'll
Well,
fight.
just traditionally, richer
you don't want them
people
to
have less
fight.
babies.
Oh,
Yeah.
you don't want them to fight.
Yeah, you don't want them to have internal wars. you know?
Oh,
Plus, you have to share your wealth at that point.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody
I
wants
am
to
the
know.
heir to the throne. Yes.
wow.
So have you ever met one of the royals?
Like every year during his birthday, he will do like a concession where everybody could visit him and take like
That's
a grid packet. So it's basically you could go there, collect money from him.
Take one of the cars?
Yeah, no. Basically, just visit him and congratulate his birthday, and then he'll give you money. So that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. Nice of us.
That's a good way to celebrate a birthday. Hey, you celebrate a birthday? I'm coming over. Can I get a check? Where's my card with money in it?
On this, the day of my daughter's wedding, I cannot.
So, what brought you out here? Just the schooling, or?
Yeah. I mean, well, first off, when I first come here, it was kind of an odd situation because I finished my study in multimedia design, and my dad was like asking me like, because I wanted to work straight away. You know?
Yeah.
So my dad's like, well, you got to finish your study, you got to continue on for a degree. So my first thing that time during that period, I actually tried marijuana first time in Malaysia, while knowing it's a death sentence.
Hey, Lamal.
So
It's a
that-
death sentence in Malaysia?
It's a death sentence in Malaysia.
Oh my god.
Yes.
I thought our rules were strict.
Well,
That's
I mean,
some dank
okay,
weed.
it's known as a death sentence, but you could buy off anything with money.
Yeah,
So,
obviously.
so that's the the downside of the society that I'm living in. And then I was like, oh wow, marijuana's pretty cool. And then later, yes,
Going to California.
Don't tell me. Is that really why you came out here?
That's exactly why
that,
we
that
came
is
out
the,
here.
the additional optional
Cool,
purpose.
cool,
right?
cool. I
Larger
can't believe
liberty
it.
freedoms.
Yes.
How great is this feeling marijuana gives?
I don't think this is the greatest conversation for a classroom video. Well, let's go to the next one.
I've never smoked
Well, one
any illicit substances.
Well, one thing is that
It is legal in California now. It just
it
didn't
is
pass.
legal, yeah.
It just didn't pass.
I just updated my med card, like paid the $100, $80 whatever dollar fee
Oh,
for
shit.
it, and then like a month
What,
later
80
it's
bucks?
recreational.
Well, it still won't be legal for like another year or two. But
Good.
Ask a question.
I mean, you guys go on first. My question is very slow. Sorry about that.
It's gonna make your brain freezing.
So I was actually born in West Berlin, Germany, on a military base. My father was in the army. We came back to New Hampshire when I was 2. I don't even know what year that was. And then I grew up there on the East Coast in New Hampshire. And when I get really drunk or I start talking to people from Boston, I stop dropping my A. No, dropping my R's and extending my A's.
Yeah.
So my voice starts changing and I start getting a bit of an accent. But I've lost a lot of that since I've been in the military. So I got out of high school, I joined the Marine Corps, traveled the country a bunch of times, went over to Kuwait, Iraq, came back, got out and became a bodyguard. And then ever since I've been in California. Then I met my wife and I'm stuck here.
You met your wife in California?
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's
Like while you were
great.
working as a bodyguard?
Yeah.
Cool.
And then I was going to college at the same time. Changed careers 2 years ago.
Let me ask you a question. You seem to appear fairly normal.
Quite.
Haven't left the military, but it doesn't seem to be the lot of others. There are several people who haven't gone to war, they've come back and their lives are no longer together. In fact, in my last class, there was a documentary that a guy made about his elder brother, who was a smart, focused man. And since he came back from Iraq, all he does is drink at night, nightmares, and these were being captured. I'm just
Well, think of it this way.
I'm just
So
wondering, how did you? Were you just lucky?
no, I approach things different mentally.
So do you think those people are?
So there's also
mentally?
I wasn't forced to kill anyone while I was in Iraq. So
Okay.
that is a huge step that I
Okay,
have differently
okay,
than most
okay,
people.
Okay.
But the thing is, one, killing people is definitely mentally torture for some people. But
Okay.
it's also not only that, it's the fact you live 7 months to a year and a half in Iraq at 100% adrenaline rush.
So does
Think of it this way.
that breaks you down mentally.
Well, the thing is you go. When do you feel the most adrenaline? Right? Have you guys been in a street fight, fist fight at all?
No, I haven't.
Have you ever been so angry you want to kill somebody you can't thank in your handshake?
Yes.
Well, spend 9 months
Feel
doing
in
that every single day. You wake up, you go into this city, you have a theory that people want to kill you. People start shooting at you, people shoot stuff, they blow up bombs, they set bombs up for you, you see your friends die, and then you live 9 months at 100% adrenaline. Turn around, come back to the state where people don't give a shit. People don't pay attention, people don't care, people act ignorant, people do not have any idea what it took for you to go over there and actually live that life for
So would you say
9
part of the
minutes.
problem is the people that you come back to meet, the fact that they don't understand?
Well,
what
there's
you've gone
there's a
through?
combination of things. So there's, in my opinion, it is the lack of adrenaline rush, because you want to fight all day. That's all you want to do. You want to fight. You want to kill. You want to go do what you did, trained for 4 years or 5 years to go to the military to do. Right? You come back and then all of a sudden things are mundane. My first 6 months back, I couldn't go into a public bar because I couldn't deal with people near me because I always thought there was somebody going to attack me.
Okay,
Driving down the
so
street.
You've actually gone through.
Yeah. I went through a cycle of
Okay.
balancing back out.
Balancing back out. Okay.
So the thing is, like going down the street, you look at things differently, right? For example, these garden boxes in Iraq, those would be filled with bombs, right? If they're not, you have to think they are, because
Oh,
that's
okay.
how you die.
Yeah,
If you
you
drive
die.
by that, that's going to blow up, kill everyone in your vehicle, and you all die, right? So you have to be attentive to that stuff. So that's one aspect of coming back. But then you come back and you have civilians to deal with. Civilians are a very hard aspect of people to deal with. Because in the military, you tell people how it is. You give people a responsibility, you expect them to get off their ass and go take care of it. Because if they don't take care of it, people die.
Okay.
So you come back with a mentality and you meet civilians who are like, oh, this is my responsibility, this is my entire job, this is everything I grew up to do. I will take care of it in 2 weeks. Bye.
Yeah.
So it's a huge mentality. You're like, dude, what the
It's like message me on Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, you're like, dude, come on. Like,
Okay, yeah.
all you have to do is go over there and take care of it for 10 fucking
6
minutes.
So, and you're
So
waiting. Okay.
So then there's a huge anxiety issue of dealing with people in that aspect.
Okay, so I've learned something now. So it's actually a struggle.
It is a struggle. So, and then there's also conflict resolution, right? That is one. I've been out of the Marine Corps. I got out in 2008. I still deal with conflict resolution because I just want to grab people by the fucking neck, choke the shit out of them, and throw them to make my point across. But as a civilian working in the corporate world, you can't do that. I have to say, you know what? That bothers me. I want you to go back. I want you to go back and think about what you just did.
Like you're talking to a child.
No, it really is. Because you have to explain them.
You just have to like, yeah, exactly.
Like, dude,
Yeah.
what in this world makes you think that is an acceptable behavior?
So like,
there's
what was like a big example of that? Like, what was like one of the first examples of you just like reeing at a civilian when you first got here?
oh,
No, I'm not being able to.
And not being
I'm
able
not
to
being-
ring their
Well,
neck.
I think
let
one
me,
of my
let me complete that
Yeah.
sentence. I'm not being able to choke his dumb ass.
no, really, choke his dumbass. All right, let's put it this way. So
I know
one.
why he came up with that joke. Choke that
No,
dumb ass.
choke his dumb ass is literally something I've heard a million
I
times.
know where he came from. He has to deal with it.
So in the military, one way
Go.
we dealt with resolution. I had a problem one day. I went into my barracks and we were doing cleaning parties, right? Mm-hmm. So we were going through the entire living quarters and we were cleaning everything else so it was as sanitary as possible. Well, one day we had a lance corporal, go to one of the corporals and tell him to fuck off. Told him that he doesn't have to listen to him. Just 6 months ago, they were the same rank and screw him.
Wow.
So I, in my bit of collective anger, chose to go in there, grab him by his shirt, choke him, shake him, slam him against the wall, and throw him. And I made my point across. He understood. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should listen.
Hey, I guess the point.
So
of
that's
that-
how we resolved issues in some cases. You know, sometimes it's just like, hey, that was stupid, don't do it again. Right? Like, it was literally all you needed. But then when you come to the civilian world, one of the best issues I dealt with, I'm trying to think. But anyway, a couple of weeks ago, actually, I had to deal with some corporate issues. Somebody hired somebody to do my job, lied to my face, and then turned around and told some political malarkey that I wasn't able to do certain things.
Wow.
So in my collectiveness,
You
I called them
trumped
and
it.
I said, hey, what did you get out of our conversation? Because from what I'm being told, we're disconnecting. And then he was like, oh, no, I didn't say this. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, that's exactly what I was told you said.
He's a snake.
And there's a problem.
Snake.
Yeah.
What is the one thing you like to do once you get out of school?
One thing I like to do once I get out of school. Well, first, I have to find a way to settle here. That's one thing. Because as right now, well, we all know Trump is up there, and it's for foreign students, it's a bad news.
No, it's
No,
actually
it's a good
not.
thing.
If you actually go back and look back, he actually wants to speed up the visa process.
Yeah. It's
And
clogged
fix
up
it.
right now because there's so many illegals trying to flood the system. So now people like you, perfectly nice people who want to come in legally, they're slowed down.
So that's-
So once the illegals are out and like not flooding the system.
Well, that's not even the
so-
issue. It's just the government is slow as shit.
And the government is slow
No,
as
so
shit.
The government.
you would like to live in the U.S.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you have a
So,
better shot at it.
it is a
Trust me.
misconception with the whole Trump thing. He wants to get rid of illegal people so that people who want to be here legally can do it just fine and just easy.
Because you're a kind of person that shows good faith to the country. Like you
Oh,
came here
yeah.
legally and you're already investing money into the school. But people who like cross the line, like the literal border, like that shows no good faith.
One has one easy way to go. Marry an American woman.
There is one way, but there's
Yeah,
also work
American
visas.
That in 2 months you have it.
And actually, there's I date a lot of girls and some Chinese girls is like trying to like
Oh,
marry
yeah,
me right
absolutely.
now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, that is
She just
one-
wants the green card.
Americans are now hotcakes.
What do you say?
I mean, that is absolutely what as foreign students, that is the information that we are fed to.
Yeah.
Either you do good because H1B, like getting hired in the company. Well, usually through the internship or OPT, they don't really hire you because one thing is that unless you're in tech, which is much more sought after, right?
Okay.
In art, it's hard to justify the
Foreign.
validity of art.
Okay.
So
The degree doesn't mean anything. It's like you need the demo
yes,
reel.
yes, and that I just lost my thoughts.
Sorry.
But the easiest way, besides that, will be asylum, which the countries that
Yeah.
go to war. But other than that, the marriage is the easiest way. Or they do like
Pretty much.
the DB5. They bought a company if you had money backing you up. So that's a situation. It's like, well, I don't have money.
What